Hello, you're listening to Adam Yurchick, recording for TCGplayer.com. Today we're drafting Shadowmoor block on Magic Online in a Flashback draft. Today we'll be drafting 2 packs of Shadowmoor and a pack of Eventide. And it's been quite a while since I've drafted this set, and I cannot wait to get into the queue and see what we can put together. So I'm going to hop right in and see where the packs take us. My strategy in the draft is to try to stay in one color for as long as possible, ideally staying in a one color deck, and then branching out from there as the packs dictate, possibly with a splash. So we open quite possibly the best card in the format, the best card in Shadowmoor at least. Una, Queen of the Fae. It's blue or it's black, and it's extremely powerful. So this card is awesome, and the fact that it removes cards from the opponent's deck of a certain color is especially good in this format because all of the multicolored cards. So we'll hit more cards than normal. I mean, often our opponents will be one color and it'll just mill a ton of cards, and we'll get lots of tokens. So that is a slam dunk. It's the best way to start a draft. And then hopefully a blue or black card can come around, like Sootwalkers, maybe Wing Rattle Scarecrow, an artifact that we could use. So moving on, it's important not to get blinded by the Una. We would like to take a blue or black card, but we should definitely just reevaluate what we're being passed. We have a Valley Maker, which is a bit expensive like the Una, but very powerful. We can kill the opponent's creatures. Advice from the Fae is a nice blue card, but it's not extremely powerful. Cult Brand Cinder is a nice role player in black. Mud Brawler Cohort is a great card. Red is a premier color in the format. And then we have Smolder Initiate, Sootwalkers, Wanderbrand Rootcutter. Nothing too impressive. Scrap Basket, kind of filler cards. So it's really take the Valley Maker, take the Seed Cradle Witch, and go into green-white. So I'll just take the Valley Maker and see where we go from there. It's possible we won't play it. Or maybe we will and we won't play Una. But I think the Valley Maker is too good to let go for mediocre cards. So here we have Vexing Shusher, which is nice because it's a red-green card that would go with Valley Maker, but it's not actually extremely impressive. There's really not a lot of cards that are going to be countered. It's really a constructed card. So I'd like to move on. There's Fairy Swarm, which is in a mono blue deck amazing. We'd love to be mono blue with Una. So Fairy Swarm is a signal that I think would be silly to pass up. I think that is a clear pick here. There's also Flow of Ideas. Maybe that would table. It's not better than Fairy Swarm, but it's certainly a nice card in blue and a signal. And there's Pilipella, which is a fine playable in almost every deck. So moving on, Greater Oromancy. Not really a card that we want to play. Not really slated for limited. Spit Flame Witch. It's an option, but it's in 2 colors and doesn't really work for us. Ashenmoor Cohort. That works in the black direction. Tattermunch Duo is a very good card that would go with the Valley Maker. In blue, we have Wimwaiter, which is really not an impressive card. We also have Torpor Dust, which is playable but not great. I think Tattermunch Duo is the pick here. There's also Sickle Reaper, which is nice, and there's been black going around. I think actually, no, I'll take the Duo. I was considering taking a black card, and just going with Una that way. But Tattermunch Duo is quite good, and we still have the Valley Maker. But here we see Thistledown Duo, which is one of the best blue cards. And it's here kind of late. There are a lot of black cards, but they're all mediocre. Helm of the Gas Lord is certainly a fine card. It's not the most impressive of the enchantments. Deep Channel Mentor, that's obviously great in a mono blue deck. I think there is still some mono blue coming around. Plague of Vermin is expensive. Powerful. I'll take the Thistledown Duo happily. And continue on. Wow, so here's Plumeveil. That's a nice blue card. That's great. I think that has to be the pick here. Alternatively, there's Marrow Wavebreakers. That's a nice blue card. More of Signal blue, but not better than Plumeveil. Hungry Spriggan. That's a nice green card. That would go well with a Tattermunch Duo and the Valley Maker. We're kind of seeing a little bit of both, but clearly we want to be in blue for Una, and the red and green have been a bit light. Ideally, we would be mono red with the Valley Maker and Tattermunch Duo. I don't love green, so this is definitely Plumeveil, and continue on. Cool, wow. So Briarberry Cohort, 7th pick. That is amazing. That is perfect for our blue deck. We're definitely going to scoop that up. A little bit more blue and Curse Catcher. That card could be playable. And then in red, there's a Bogart Arsonist. We're seeing sort of chaff red cards, I think. The second tier red cards. That Tattermunch Duo slipped through. Valley Maker is not unpassable, so it's not crazy that we saw that. So I think we're just going to let those go and cement ourselves into blue, and then possibly white or black. So I should keep my eye open for white or black cards like Medicine Runner, possibly white. But Cerulean Wisps, I like here. It's great with our Thistledown Duo, and it's just a nice filler for our deck. Ghastly Discovery is fine, but we can probably pick one up later, and I think the Wisps is just better. Safehold Sentry is quite good. Has an untap ability, so we can use it with other things, like Banishing Knack in the 3rd pack. Drowner Initiate is not nearly as good as something like Intimidator Initiate. So there's more red cards coming around. And there's also Scale Ritual and Sinking Feeling. Feeling is decent. Ritual is decent. I'm going to take the Sentry because it's just far and away the best card that might make my deck. And there's more red coming around, a Mudbrawler Cohort. So I could definitely have a few red cards and could have probably put a red deck together. It looks like red's coming around, but I definitely like where I'm at right now. I will just pick up the Initiate. And wow, Flow of Ideas came around. I think it'd be crazy to pass that. There's also a Parapet Watchers, but that's really just a filler card. I'll just let that go around. Whim Waiter would be good against decks with blue cards. Ashenmoor Cohort, it's not worth hating, so I'll take the Whim Waiter, put it in the board. I'll take the Fate Transfer, put it in the board. Take the Sinking Feeling, put it in the board. And Zealous Guardian in the board. I'll put the Drowner Initiate in the board as well. So we have 7 very quality blue cards and a Safehold Sentry. So we're definitely on track for a good draft. 7 blue cards this pack, 7 pack 2, 7 pack 3, and get a filler there somewhere. So here we have Puka's Mischief. That's in theory playable, but a bit awkward. Not a very solid card. Glamour Spinners is tricky. It's a very good card. Can move auras, but more importantly, it's just a 5-mana 2/4 flash flyer. However, Curse of Chains is just excellent, solid removal, top tier, and definitely what my deck is interested in. There's also Somnomancer, which would be great in my deck. So I'm going to take the Curse, and hopefully that Glamour Spinners or Somnomancer comes around. And also Siphon, Spell Siphon could be playable as well in my deck. So take the Curse happily. Wow. So no quality blue, but just tons of red. There is, however, a Ballynock cohort, and a lot of these blue cards we have are white. So I'm going to take the Ballynock cohort and possibly be in blue-white, which is one of the best decks before Eventide. It's certainly great now, so I'll just take that. Parapet Watchers would keep me in mono blue, but it's not nearly as good as the cohort. And I think branching out into white might leave me with a better deck. So here we have Armored Ascension. That really wants me to be in white. I could take that. If I split blue and white, that would be a fine card to have. I would pump a little bit and get flying. Otherwise, there's Turn to Miss, which is fine, but I don't have any way to take great advantage of it right now. Wing Rattle Scarecrow could just be a 3-mana 2/2 flyer. It's possible that's better. There's also Tatterkite. Consign to Dream. That's a trick, but a little bit weak. So I don't see my deck being super aggressive for the Ascension, but I think I should just take it and see where it goes because it's so much better than all the other options. Here we have Safehold Duo, which is in white, but not really great in my deck at all because it's not blue. And I'm not going to have a ton of white spells. Medicine Runner, an aggressive 2-drop, Cerulean Wisps. Put away is a bit expensive. Could take the Consign, but it's really not where I want to be if memory serves me. I'll just take the Wisps here and move on. Or, no, I think I just take Safehold Duo and see if I end up heavy and white, it could actually be good. I'm not going to miss the Wisps. Wow. So another Fairy Swarm, which I'd love to pick up, but Thistledown Duo. I wish I had that second Wisps now. Maybe it'll come back. The Duo is just better than the Fairy Swarm. The Swarm is awesome. There's some world where it comes back, but the Duo is better. I'll just take that. And wow, okay, so blue is coming a little bit. There's Thought Reflection, which is really powerful. I don't know if I need that. I would probably play it if I got it. But I have bombs like Una and Flow of Ideas. Thistledown Duo I'd love to take, but the Pure Sight Marrow is just ideal. It's a 2-drop. It has a great ability that's almost like drawing a card. It's like Scry 1, and it's just perfect in blue and white. And then another Briarberry cohort. Keep my deck very aggressive. That's perfect. Some 2-drops. My deck is filling out. I have a great curve. I'm really happy with where I'm at. That Safehold Duo maybe should be a Cerulean Wisps. It's possible I could just stay the mono blue route. 11 blue cards now. Pillypella could help me fix mana. Could also use the untap with cards in the next pack like Banishing Knack. I'm going to get blue cards. I'm going to see blue cards like Banishing Knack, and I want to take advantage of them. Or the old Parapet Watchers, which is just not inspiring. I'll take the Pillypella. It's a flyer, and it could fix mana. It's just decent. Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to the Parapet Watcher, actually. It would also help me with another blue playable. Maybe I should have just taken that. The Pilly Pella is kind of weak. I think that was my opportunity to get the Parapet. I actually just underrated having the random creature filler. That's critical for every limited deck, and you have to pick them up when you get the chance. But hopefully I can get some Banishing Axe and take advantage of the Billy Pella. Alright, take Counterspell and Spell Siphon. Kithkin Shield there is not great. Okay, there's Parapet Watchers. Really, really happy to pick that up now. And there's a Wing Rattle Scarecrow. That's basically 3 mana, 2/2 flyer, which is perfectly on plan. It's that or Consign to Dream, which would help a lot against red-green. Otherwise, it's like a bad Boomerang, which is decent. Sorry, a bad Unsummon. I'll just take the Scarecrow. And there's another Consign to Dream. Again, I just have such bad memories of Consign to Dream being weak. It's definitely a fine card. But I want the Wisps for my duo, so I'll take that. And Helm of the Gas Lord, I'll just put in the board. And take the Dream Salvage. That's uncommon. Hey, Kin Scare Harpoonist. Just a blue flyer, I'll take that. Pyrrhic Revival. Decent card. Here's something interesting. Noggle Ransacker. When it enters the battlefield, each player draws 2 cards and discards 2 at random. It's great when I have bad cards in my hand, like land, late in the game. There's Dream Thief, which is a 3 mana 2/1 blue flyer that I could draw a card potentially if I cast another blue card already. Grazing Kelpie, that's just a blue creature with Persist. That's surprisingly useful. It also stops their Persist creatures if I can remove them after they die, sort of like Scavenging Ooze does in Modern against Kitchen Finks. Recumbent Bliss, that's a great white card. And it's a removal spell. It's just awesome. I think I just take that and work some white into my deck because Thief and the Ransacker. There's also that card that makes Kithkin. That card would be probably pretty sweet, but my deck doesn't take great advantage of it. It'll be better in a mono white deck. So I'll just take this solid removal spell. And there's another one, so I think I'll just take that. Talonrend, I'd love to pick that up if it comes around. Light from Within is insane in mono white. Not for me. Noggle Bandit is awesome, basically has flying. Though the double blue is actually a bit restrictive in my deck. Blue, just having blue-white mana base would be perfectly fine as is. I have no double blue that isn't white. But I'll take the Bliss, and my deck's definitely coming together. There's the Banishing Knack I talked about, and I'm not sure I'm going to get another opportunity, so I'll take it. Bloody Ghost, not good enough for me. And there's Shore Crasher Mimic, which is not relevant. Noggle Bandit, again, decent, but double blue. So I'll just take the Knack. Awesome. At the very least, that goes with my Pure Sight Marrow and then the Pilly Pella if I play it. Marrow Levitator gives my blue creature, because any of my creatures flying and then can untap if I cast blue spells. So that could be useful, but most of my creatures already actually have flying. Fire at Will is not happening. Luna's Grace is fine. There's also that Noggle Bandit. Take a look at the deck. Una's Grace is decent with Thistledown Duo. I don't think I need the Noggle Bandit at all. I'll just take Una's Grace just to have. So Invert the Skies can give my creatures flying. Don't need it. Oh, I don't. Guess I accidentally just misclicked and took that. I think there was something semi-decent to take. Oh well, I'm not even sure what was there. But I got plenty of playables here. I think the Una's Grace might be better on the board, but I'll cut the Safe Hold Duo. It's a bit expensive. I'll cut the Armored Extension because it requires a lot of planes, which I won't have. I don't really need to give my creatures flying. Oh, the last pack, I think I was going to take a Noggle Bandit, which I'm not going to play. I have tons of threes. Trapjaw Kelpie is just kind of a cool card. That's something I could actually sideboard in. Kithkin Zealot is pretty good against black and red, I guess. It's actually a lot of life gain. That's something I'm more likely to use. If I play against a mono red deck, it'd be awesome. So I'll take that, put it in the board. And then take the second one, put it in the board, and have a really good board. Whew. But there's a Banishing Knack and a Dream Fracture. Dream Fracture is kind of cool. It's a counter spell. Then we both draw a card. Oh, Snake Form. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. This is an insane combat trick. Basically, you just humble their creature and draw a card. I'm happily going to take that. Dream Fracture is alright. It kind of is what it is. It's a cancel, which is fine. Banishing Knack is awesome. When I have one, I don't need two. Snake Form is actually perfect. I'll just take that. And then Antler Skulkin is kind of cool. It can save my white creatures, but I don't have a ton of them. Steam Hopper is not going to make the cut. I'll just take this Hypnotist as a board card. And I will take this Parapet Watchers out of the deck. And honestly, this Una's Grace, I have a flow of ideas. And I didn't need that cancel in the last pack also, because I have Spell Siphon. I have some great removal, some enchantment removal, enchantment-based removal. Here, there's that Noggle Ransacker. I suppose that could be a decent card. Also, the Grazing Kelpie. Kelpie's not quite on plan. The Ransacker isn't really either. But, oh, there's a Skull Shulkin. That could be a pretty useful card against decks with removal. There's also the Inside Out, which is kind of useful. Not really for me. I'll take the Ransacker and put it in the board. Ooh, Talonrend. Sweet. I can just pump blue mana into it. It's not great with the white mana, but it's perfectly fine. I think that's the pick. There's also Kithkin Zealot, which is a good board card, but I'll take the Talonrend. I like that big threat. Let's tune the deck a little bit. Noggle Bandit again. You know, it's possible I could have almost went mono blue, but I only have a few white cards, and they're all very good, particularly the Bliss. I will take the Zealot for the board. I'll take this Bandit. Take the Shell Skulkin for the board. Maybe Ballynock Cohort I don't actually want to play. And the Safehold Sentry, I'll just play the Recumbent Bliss. Splashing the removal spells, keeping my blue count very high. and then playing 18 land. Just because I just don't want to get mana screwed, and I have Flow of Ideas, and I have Una. So I want to hit 6 mana, so I want 18. This is good. I could put a Ransacker over the Noggle Bandit, but I don't like that. Let me group my creatures separately. So I'm going to play the Pilipella as fixing and to be really good with Banishing Knack. And the Snake form is going to be useful just as a trick. And I like this. Maybe I should have took another Noggle Bandit and put that in the deck. I think that Wing Rattle Scarecrow will be consistent enough as a flyer, and I think Briarberry Cohort will be consistent enough. I do have Fairy Swarm, maybe the Pilipella or Wing Rattle Scarecrow are not good enough. I don't think I want the Ransacker normally because I don't want to discard the Una or the Flow. Could play the Parapet Watchers or the Una's Grace. Could play Una's Grace and 18 land. And cut Pilipella. That doesn't leave me with a lot for my Knack. No, I'm just going to go with this. I'm happy with this. Suggesting lands is obviously awful in this format because of all the different color stuff. I have to edit it myself. I'll go up to 7 plains and 11 island. Actually, no, 6 plains is perfectly fine. I forgot I only have 2 white cards. 12 islands is perfectly plenty, and 6 plains means I'll have it pretty much all the time. And also it means I can keep hands without white, but have a reasonable chance to draw it over the course of the game. So I'm going to submit this, and I have a decent sideboard. So thank you for watching, and please join me for round 1.